is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
And we're back here on KCSN with another episode of The Breakdown. I'm Matt Hamilton. That's Chase Daniel. And Chase, we saw the Chiefs offense really catch fire in a way we haven't seen recently, especially in the second half in that win over the Raiders. What really stood out to you from the offense in that game?
17 second half points. They had scored like 54 up until that point in the entire second half of the entire season. So they were starting really fast and they weren't scoring points in the second half. That was the biggest narrative coming out of the game before. And then they go to Vegas and just demolish a Raiders team. Got behind early, but I think that was a little bit of the hangover from the Eagles game. And if you saw the Eagles play the Bills, it was the exact same way. Two powerhouses coming together, and then their next games, it's a little bit flat. The Chiefs were able to respond, and I just like that the receivers, in my opinion, right? Like that's what we've been talking about this entire year. The receiver room overall as a whole really played well, and especially Rashee Rice. Like we've been saying this on this the breakdown show the entire year. Like you got to find someone else other than Kelsey. Kelsey had a good game. He was double covered a good bit of it. They had a good plan for him. And then so who's the next guy up? And it's Rashee Rice. And that's the biggest thing that I noticed from Patrick Mahomes, especially. He started to trust Rashee Rice. And dude, if they can start coming on, if they can get one or two more of those rookie receivers or the second-year receivers to step up, it's going to be a scary offense come December and January.
Yeah, it really is. And we'll dig into the film here in a little bit, but we saw some special throws from Mahomes. As you said, Rice, a season high, career high, 8 catches, 107, and he had that touchdown. Big game from him. And, you know, we'll get into the upcoming matchup as well here soon. Was there anything still from the Chiefs offense that you look at and you're like, they need to do better here? Or was it just, you know, does it look like they're starting to solve some of these issues?
Solving some of the issues, I think, is what's happening. But there's still the underlying issue of hey, you got to put a full 4 quarters together, right? Like come December, January, into February, if you're playing, like it takes all 4 quarters. It takes all 65 plays in the game. You can't have this lull in the middle of 10 to 15 plays where you're just not doing anything. Good teams will beat you like that. But the Chiefs just keep on winning, right? And that's the biggest thing for me is like, you just got to keep stacking these days. You got to keep stacking these practices with these young guys. You got to keep working with them after practice like Mahomes is doing. And eventually, like we've said it before here, and I'm a big believer, like practice is practice. Okay, cool. You're not getting full speed reps in practice. You actually got to do it in the game. So they're starting to stack a bunch of these games together, and it's paying dividends for the Chiefs, especially the receiver room.
Absolutely. And let's dig into some of that film now because we got some really good ones to break down for you here. Let's start with this throw, which is just vintage Mahomes to Kelsey. What did you see here?
I mean, this was the sickest throw I've seen almost all year long from Mahomes. I mean, this is a classic route. They've been running this route since I was there in 2013, 2014, 2015. And all it is Kelsey's going to come up. They call it a Seattle route. We roll the film right here. You're going to be able to see he's leaning like he's running an over route, like a deep cross route. And then as soon as the flat defender steps up on this flat route by the running back, Kelsey's just going to turn out into a corner. So it's a sloppy over, turning into a corner. Patrick Mahomes does a good job moving up in the pocket, although I thought it was a little bit too much. And he said, like, he barely got enough on it. He thought it was going to hit him in the head. But if we watched, I mean, we got this from 3 views. Like, this was insane. And it was classic Kelsey to Mahomes, just the trust that they have in each other right here. You see, just barely over his head, and then also puts it in a spot to where Kelsey can run after the catch. That's what's the most impressive, because if he puts this ball any other way, the flat defender falling back on it might get it. The hook curl, number 5, might get it. So it's just an impressive throw and catch overall. And the fact is, they're running the same concepts. It's just now they're motioning Kelsey to this 2x2 formation, and they're putting the receiver singled up in a tight split, so it's not out wide. We used to do it out wide. It was very static. Now they're motioning, they're doing all this stuff to it, and it's still working like 8 years later.
And I feel like we see Mahomes make these kind of off-platform throws so often. I want to make sure it doesn't, like, we're still appreciating it fully. How hard is it to be this accurate when off-platform like this?
Well, I mean, that's what he's known for, right? This is where he's best. This is where his skill set shines, is when it's not in the rhythm of a drop. Okay, he can do that, and he's good at that in quick game. But when he actually moves around in the pocket, this movement was a little bit unnecessary. Like, I would have liked for him to just step up to it, but like, this is where he does. He likes to show off that arm. He likes to show off everything that he has. And the fact is, he thought the left tackle was getting edged, which he was there, as you see here. So he steps up, and then, I mean, this is not open for 99% of the quarterbacks in the league. They're not throwing this. They're checking it down to this drive route. So impressive throw, impressive catch.
All right, and as you mentioned, huge breakout game for Rashee Rice. Let's dig into some of those plays now. Here, key moment, backed up deep into their own end. What'd you see on this one?
Well, you can tell it's man-to-man. Why is it man-to-man? All these DBs that we've highlighted here, they're looking straight at their guy. It's clear as day. You got a safety dropping down to cover the tight end. And so I like here that Mahomes just goes back to the drawing board. Like, hey, where's my best matchup? It's like KYP, know your personnel. He likes Rice on 21 down here, okay? And it just shows, and we talked about it early in the show, it just shows the amount of trust that Mahomes has in his guy down here. It's a little hitch and go. Okay, Mahomes is already throwing it. The receiver is 8 yards down the field. So it's not one of those overarching, like, huge throws where you're going to put a lot of air on it. It's just a perfect throw. I mean, this throw right here is insane. And so it makes it easy on Rashee Rice to just be able to get back there and pluck it. And you see there, just like the back shoulder, like, he's a big, tall guy. He's fast. He's really good with the ball in his hands. But the fact is, you're almost like 3 no-hitch throwing a go ball. And so you can tell this came from practice. Like, they practice this. This is not something you can't just go out there and just run it and wing it. This is one of the toughest throws in the National Football League, is a back shoulder go route. And the fact is, this back shoulder go route is getting completed at 15 yards. Like, that is hard on a DB because you're not in phase. You're not ready to get your head around. That's what's the most impressive about this entire thing to me.
And I feel like we've been talking about it for weeks now. I think you could kind of see it building, the trust and the chemistry between Mahomes and Rice. It's been kind of cool to follow throughout the year as we've done this show. But do you think we're going to see this now kind of out of Rice? Maybe not 100 yards every game, but do you think we're going to see these type of performances more often from Rice based on what you saw on this one?
Well, I mean, look, teams are going to eventually catch on to him and what he does well. So he's going to need to broaden his weapon selection. What does that mean? Like, he's got to be able to do more than run a go route or a shallow cross route, which we'll show you. He's got to become a full receiver, but his progression's right on track, I think. And the fact is, you have the best quarterback in the world throwing to you. You're going to get better a lot faster than a lot of other receivers are, because he's going to make you really, really good. He's going to stay after. He's going to make sure you're right. And he's going to put balls like this right in your face. So all you got to do is just catch it. That's the biggest thing with this receiver. And what we said all along, just catch the football and you'll be in a good spot.
Absolutely. And as we talked about, wasn't the only moment that Rice had in this game. Let's go to the touchdown and walk us through what you saw here and how this play came to turn from a short completion into such a big gain and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this is another play. All this is on a call sheet for the Chiefs and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. All it is called is zebra shallow cross. That's all it is zebra shallow cross, and it tells all 4 guys what to do. And you're going to see Rashee Rice in the slot up top. All he's doing is shallow. Okay, he has a shallow cross that's 4 to 6 yards. You sit versus zone, you run versus man. This is playing like man. It's single high zone. And you can see Watson right here. He's just going to go up. He's going to have a deep hook over the ball. Okay, and they actually get messed up down here because they are playing man right here, down here. And both of these guys go with Watson. So if he's looking left, MVS walks in for an easy touchdown. So you can see right there, Watson has got 3 guys on him, which is a complete mess up on the Raiders. But Rashee Rice, just run. He sees green grass. That's the biggest thing that Andy Reid says. Hey, if there's green grass on the shallow cross, he teaches this better than anyone I've ever been around. Okay, it's green grass, you run, and then, look, I thought he was going to get tackled there, okay, and not get the touchdown. I like that he was able to do something with the ball in his hands. He runs angry. He's a big, tall son of a gun, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he's special. So I'd love to see more like this. Like, don't always have to get down the field on these go balls. Hey, throw him a screen or two, give him a jet sweep, do stuff like this to get him involved and get his confidence level going, because you could see through the game, especially after this, like, his confidence level was on the rise.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that's when the Chiefs offense has been the most sustainable over the years with Patrick Mahomes. It hasn't been the big downfield plays. It's been the short passing game. I think, if you really look inside the numbers, the passing charts, the next gen stats, all that stuff. Mahomes has as many completions around the line of scrimmage as anybody, and it's letting some of these receivers go to work and putting that faith in them to make something happen after the catch.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And this is what this offense is built off of. They have their drop back sheet, like 3-step, 5-step, 7-step, and then the movement game. That part of it is not huge. It is huge. What's not huge is this under center play action shot play. Now they do have stuff, 5 to 7 plays a game, but they're drop back. That's what they're built on, right? And they're really good when they're running the ball. And when they're running the ball, it sets up these passes under center where you can get to your shot plays, your play action chunk plays like that. So this is what this whole team has always been based on. And yet, I mean, no one's really been able to stop it. It's been really impressive to watch.
Yeah, that's a great point too with the run game. They ran it well. Pacheco had another big day on Sunday as well. So all starting to come together for the Chiefs down this stretch run, but a big one coming up on Sunday night against a Packers team that kind of out of nowhere has started really picking it up. I know you dive in to the All 22 on every single quarterback around the league on your phenomenal YouTube show, the Chase Daniel Show. What have you seen from Jordan Love over these past couple of weeks that's kind of led to this turnaround?
Yeah, I mean, look, the first of all, the play calling's gotten a lot more aggressive. Like you can tell, I mean, Green Bay is very young on the offensive side of the football. Offensive line, receivers, like I couldn't tell you before this season, even for the first 5 games of the year, who their guys were other than Christian Watson, right? You got number 11 Reed coming on. You got these tight ends rolling. You got this running game rolling. And so all of that's working, and they're all growing together. That's what I've seen over the last, like, especially 2 to 3 weeks. Like against the Chargers at home, they were able to come from behind, win, 2-minute drive to win the game. And then you go on the road on national TV on Thanksgiving and beat the brakes off the Lions, because that's what they did. Like the Lions are a good team, but they got after them. If you really watch that, this game should not have been even as close as it was down the stretch. So they're playing really confident, and that's a scary thing for a Chiefs team, especially Jordan Love. Like he's ascending in my mind. Okay, and if you look at the first 11 starts of Aaron Rodgers' career and the first 11 starts of Jordan Love's career, the exact same amount of total yards, 2,199 total yards, and 21 total touchdowns. They're exactly the same. Okay. And so when people are talking to me about, well, look, hey, Jordan Love isn't the answer. Like, just give him a chance to grow and give him a whole season of starting, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. With Jordan Love, like, I don't think you can grow in practice. I'm sorry. Like, you can work on your skill and you can end up playing well because of how you practice. But at the end of the day, it comes down to experience in real NFL games. There's no practice I've ever been a part of in 14 years that allows you to grow more than actual game experience. So that's what Jordan is just stacking. He's just stacking weeks. So this is going to be a tough test for the Chiefs.
Yeah, a couple of those throws against the Lions, too. Such high-level throws, that first touchdown to Jaden Reed, where he just put it right on him through traffic. Some really impressive stuff. As far as the Packers' defense and the matchup for this Chiefs' offense, one thing that stands out to me, having watched the Packers, obviously, those edge rushers are great, Rashawn Gary, Smith. They can get after the quarterback, but I do think they are vulnerable in the run game. I think they're a little bit soft up front, and you can run at them in this Chiefs' physical offensive line. I think this is going to be another one of those matchups. We've had a few of these this year where we've talked about it. Lean on the run game maybe a little bit more, because I think they can out physical the Packers up front. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's what I've been saying this entire time. Like, yeah, obviously all the hoopla and all the media attention is going to be on Patrick Mahomes, the receiver room, Travis Kelce. Like, I'd love a game, and they're good for 1 or 2 games a year. The Chiefs are. Like, give me 200 yards rushing, man. Like control the clock. Show me you can win different ways. If you go on the road, because right now they're not the 1 seed, right? They're not the 1 seed. So you might have to go on the road if things keep winning in front of you and you may be dropping another game. So, like, what travels on the road is great defense, which they have, the Chiefs have, and a good run game. Like, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, he's the X factor and everything, but, like, give me 200 yards rushing, control the clock, pound the ball, give me like 35 to 37 minutes of time of possession, and I think they'll have a good chance to win this football game.
I'm totally with you, because, that you don't want to get into situations. You saw it with the Lions getting behind when they got in situations where, Goff had to drop back more. Those pass rushers pin their ears back and get to work. And we have seen some teams rack up some big games on the ground against this Packers defense. So Should be a good one on Sunday night. Excited that it's a much better game than it looked like maybe a couple of weeks ago with the way the Packers have been playing lately. So really excited to check that one out. And we'll be, of course, right back here on KCSN to break it all down for you next week and keep looking ahead. Chase, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And guys, we'll see you next week.